Yarji Chimbo, so then you may shans on the Molam Chimbo, Abjata, Pakartanga, Santu Shirmudo, Tumba Tuji Chan La Kifia, Roman Chuji Anji Podana, Tisum Sanji Kunjungo, and you, Ransom Churk, Wansum Tons, Zarelama, Nam La Kifia, Sar. Good morning. Thank you for coming. Teaching and meditation for today again. Today is new day. Do you remember? I mentioned last Sunday about these things. Today is new day, so meditate and learning about Buddha Dharma. This is good. Having fun with family and your friends. Sometimes, that's good. Go to work, make money, that's good. Sometimes practice and meditate about Buddha Dharma, that's really good. So this is our life. So meditate and learning something new every week is very important. We need to learn something new every day, at least every week, and then try to change something, negative actions, negative thoughts. Very important through your meditate practice. So first of all, the teachings of Buddha Shakyamuni show us how to rediscover the essence of our mind and come to full realization of the reality. So Lojong and the mind training practice will give us the opportunity to discover the essence. Among all Buddhist paths, the Lojong teaching, the mind training, is represent the heart essence of the Buddha's teaching. Do you remember? The Lojong teaching comes from Kadamba tradition. Kadamba means actually instruction, follow the instructions, Buddha's own words and practice. So the Lojong teaching is represent the essence of Buddha's teaching. So Lojong really means, that training the mind, right, to see things truly, understand. And through practice Lojong meditations, we will be able to understand ourselves and others. Because we are sort of, Lojong is actually about bodhicitta. If you practice bodhicitta, you will understand others and yourself. Because we are making this kind of journey to discover who and what we are. So we have to start where we are. So that's why I think Lojong is a big topic. Lojong is very important because Buddhism, as you know, actually talking about our minds, right? and teach that there is no creator outside our mind. And everything that we experience in our world are purely the creation of our minds. And also causing karma. So, Lojong practice, that's why very important. Everything that we experience, it comes from our mind. So Buddhism talking about our minds and working with mind. It is entirely the creation of our individual, right? And also group karma, we call it common karma or group karma. So even Buddha does not have the power to control our world. He says, remember, I give you the instructions that lead to the sort of liberation. But, he says, but it depends up to you, right? That means we are really responsibility to take care of our minds. And Buddha taught that there is no enlightenment and no wisdom outside our own mind. Therefore, there is a sense of total individual responsibility and completely freedom and power on this path. So Lojong is about it. Lojong is mind training. Mind training. So this becomes the base of our personal sort of journey, our path of sort of working with our minds and our actions. The teachings of the Lojong or mind training path shows us that wisdom and enlightenment are sort of found right within our emotions and right within our ordinary world. So when our minds are sort of fully engaged in a positive attitude through the practice of Lojong or mind training, then our all these sort of negative habits will gradually diminish. So when we truly enter the Mahayana path, we become genuine practitioners of compassion. Practice our whole path for the benefit of other living beings. That is the Mahayana path. That is the Lojong, the mind training, the motivation. So this kind of motivation is we call the Bodhicitta, which is translated as heart of enlightenment, right? The heart of enlightenment has two aspects, the relative and the ultimate. The relative heart of enlightenment is the desire to achieve enlightenment in order to benefit all living beings. Relative enlightenment. And the ultimate heart of enlightenment is the realization of emptiness combined with compassion or bodhicitta. So mind training and Lojong is about bodhicitta actually. So then if you go deeper and search more information about bodhicitta, it's profound, right? Very profound. And bodhicitta has three qualities, and generally speaking. The first is very gentle and soft. which is compassion. And second, at the same time, it is also clear and sharp. This is we call wisdom. And the third, it is very open and very deep. So that last quality of bodhicitta is we call emptiness. So the compassion, openness, and clarity are all one thing. And this one thing is we call bodhicitta, if you really understand. Compassion, openness, clarity. So these are the characteristics, these are the qualities of bodhicitta, and generally. So the more you meditate, the more your heart will open and understand. The more you practice, the more sort of vivid it gets. The more you practice, you get open and vivid. This is we call the combination of emptiness and bodhicitta, or wisdom. Right? Because the emptiness and wisdom and compassion, all these three things are actually one thing. It is bodhicitta. So mind training, again, is talking about bodhicitta. Only bodhicitta can train in our mind. Only. Nothing other than that. That's why since I came here, 2006, I started bodhicitta, teach and meditate bodhicitta until now. So now we need to really, some of you are very old student, which means when I start teaching here in the United States, you were there. Until now, you hear so many teachings about bodhicitta and practice every day. So now, time to check on your mind and time to really become a bodhisattva. Right? So this is which means like open mind. Whenever you meditate, heart-filled. It's not what you call it, theoretical. It's not just sit and stop talking, right? But now it's really time to you investigate with your mind how much compassion you have, how much this clarity, the wisdom. It's many years, Many years we talk about bodhicitta, we meditate on bodhicitta. Some are new, that's, I'm not talking about you. But some you are very old and hear so many teachings about bodhicitta. I hope you not sort of feel that, it's about bodhicitta every day, every year, every month. All the teachers always talking about bodhicitta. I'm kind of very listen this kind of teaching over again, kind of boring. Don't feel that, When you want to understand something, you cannot just come to few class and no practice. You have to sort of enter deeply into it, right? For example, if you want to understand a person, you have to feel their feeling, right? Suffer their sufferance, enjoy their joy, happiness. Then you understand. Similarly, when you come to class, listen to teachings, no practice, not enough. You go really deeper in, practice. As the Kadamba masters say, we actually need to think about others in order to develop ourselves as a human beings. Make lots of things. That is, Lojong. That is mind training or Lojong way of how to open your heart and understand about others. Understand about others only, I think, through your meditation, Lojong practice, So when we say practice Lojong, it simply means that without this good foundation, there is nothing to build on. Lojong practice is very essence and, the foundation. It's just as our head is more important than our body, right? Similarly, Lojong practice is more important than sort of main practice. Because the Lojong practice, generate the direction and motivation to follow the spiritual Mahayana path. Enlightenment, in order to get enlightenment, you have to practice Mahayana path, understand about that. So that's why Lojong practice is very important. And if we use our own intelligence, which is the Mahayana type of intelligence, we will find a way to develop our heart. So we recognizing that our human body and mind are the base for enlightenment, right? Also samsara, because they provide the genuine opportunity for spiritual practice. For example, Patrul Rinpoche says that if we use well, this body and mind are like a ship to liberation. Otherwise, the body and mind are like incur in samsara. So that's why this body and mind are very important, precious, but it depends how we use. So this body and mind are sort of the agent, all the good or bad. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have a body, we have a mind, and very precious. And this is also the precious human life, human body. If we use well, very precious. And the body and mind, what is different between body and mind? The mind is something other than our body, according to Buddhism. So Buddhist philosophy point of view, the mind, they give us the character, the definition. Mind is knowing, and it not only knows, but has the capacity to for self-knowing, which is we call self-realization, or we call it is enlightenment, self-realization. So the Buddha pointed out that the body is like a guest house, and the mind is like the guest. So guest house is just a place that the guest stays, right? If the guest house fall down, then the guest just goes away. Likewise, with the body and mind, the body is just a place that the mind stays, and the mind is stream that continues on moment by moment, according to Buddhism. And also, mind is like a door, whatever comes in, whether it be a sort of thief or a great deal of wealth, must come through the door, right? Similarly, if any sort of negative emotions or positive sort of virtuous qualities, come in, they come in through the mind. That's why mind is everything. That's why the Lojong mind training is very important practice. It shows how you to rest your mind, how you to understand everything. According to Buddhism, everything is best on the mind. That's why Lojong. You understand what it means, Lojong? Lo means mind, right? Jong means training. But how we train the mind? Is there any way to train our mind without practice or meditate? Do you think, is there any way to train the mind, to understand the mind, and develop the wisdom and compassion? Is there any way to do it? I don't think so. It's only through meditation. Then you can develop wisdom, compassion. Wisdom means actually emptiness. You see things, everything clearly, vivid. Compassion is bodhicitta. So this combination is amazing. That's we call training mind. Only, I think, through meditation. That's why, mind training is so important. And there are few methods of resting the mind. Right now, our mind, if you're a beginner, no meditate, our mind is like, restless, It's difficult to calm. So there are few methods, many methods, but few are very important. And it is the most sort of helpful in relation to also Lojong practice, because it emphasizes the notion of meditative concentration. So these methods are not just a method of practice, they are also stages in the, do you remember, the establishment shamatha. So first we call it resting the mind, right? Resting the mind. When we say rest in the mind, this is the first method, how to practice Lojong. So rest in mind, it doesn't mean that our mind is necessarily without agitation or without sort of negative thoughts, but rather simply that it doesn't have to be in a sort of content state of sort of the agitation. Rest in mind. The key is simply to rest in mind for however long we are able. And when we can clearly be aware of this calmness, then we call it rest in the mind. That's the first stage. Second, we call continuous resting. Continuous resting. So we reach the next stage when we can sort of slightly prolonging the state of the rest. We just continue the practice of mindfulness by staying with the object of meditation, right? So if the mind is distracted by agitation, you recognize that, right? And return to the object, right? So this is resting, continue resting. All we call mindfulness. Mindfulness is actually what allows us to understand what is going on in this moment with your mind. So this is what we call continue resting. So today I give you two methods. First is resting mind. Second, continuous resting. When you meditate, you have to remember these two methods. Rest in mind, and then thoughts disturb you, and then continue rest. So Lojong or Buddhas, all the teachings of Buddhas have actually only one clear message. I always say this, which is that there is nothing more important than getting to know your own mind. The reason is very simple, because everything that we experience is discovered within this mind. So the mind is experience of each moment of our life. Therefore, the better, we know our mind and how it works. So that's why that two methods, just I give you, very important, right? So whatever method we use, meditation is simply getting to know your mind, which is Lojong practice, actually. Meditation is more like, getting used to being with your own mind. And in Buddhism, we're looking at the mind, right? And its relationship to the appearance of the world, subject and object. And we observe the mind to see what the mind itself. But our main problem is that such a reality doesn't fit in with our ordinary experience. That's the problem. In order to see that higher level of reality, you need to have a sort of authentic experience, an authentic practice, an authentic, foundation, which is actually the mind training. So if you want to know about your mind through mind training or meditation, you need to really practice Lojong and try to let go everything, right? Otherwise, you can't stop your negative thoughts right away. You need to use this kind of methods and practice Lojong, mind training. And let go everything. So today, we'll meditate on recognize your mind, our mind, and let go. So these two combination. recognize your mind and let go. So, and also in combination with the breath, right? Whatever you meditate, breath is also best foundation. So when you, for instance, when you breathe in very gently, okay, very gently, then recognize your mind. Very gently and kind of, take slowly, breathe in, and then recognize your mind, and then pause for a second. What's going on that moment with your mind? And then breathe out, and also very gently, and let go everything. And silently, okay? You don't have to say it in strongly, let go, but, silently, and then relax for a second. And then go back to the breath. Recognize the mind and let it go. Again, continue meditate on it. Understand?
So the object of meditation is breath?
Yes. These two different kind of meditations are, also combined with the breath. Recognize, the first is when you breathe in, recognize your mind.
Is that thoughts?
Whatever you understand when I say your mind. Okay? Usually, the mind, I just mentioned a moment ago, the mind is knowing, right? It's not only knows, but it's also clarity or the compassion or these things. So recognize the mind. Whatever you recognize mind, relatively or ultimately, it depends you, right? So when you breathe in and recognize your thoughts, your mind, whatever, and pause for a second, with mindfulness, and then breathe out and just silently let go everything. I create this meditation, and I meditate sometimes, on this. Sometimes I create kind of new meditation. So, and if I do this sort of, recognize my mind and then let go, sort of, makes my mind sort of calm and sort of brings me the present moment. So I thought maybe, this meditation is good for you too. So I would like you try to, try this meditate today. Because meditation makes you more open, right? And create space in your mind. And it gives you sort of energy because, there's no place to mentally rest or grasp. So again, you understand when you breathe in, recognize the mind. And then pause for a second. Makes you really peace and relax. And then breathe out. Let go everything. Understand? Any questions?
Could you use the word notice instead of recognize, in place of recognize, like you notice what you're doing?
Yes, you can say that relative. Yeah, that's the relative mind. You can, use that word, notice. But ultimate, not notice. Recognize is better. So ultimate mind means the nature of your mind. When you breathe in, I do breathe in, I stay in nature of my mind. That means recognize. But if you don't know that, then you think it may be relative mind, right? Which is thoughts, actually. So that is notice is maybe better for you. So when you breathe in, recognize the nature mind. Breathe out, let go everything. Try that. Okay? Just to relax and make sure your body and mind are very comfortable for a second. Correct your motivation. Doesn't really matter actually. Open your eyes or close. Sometimes I do both. When I breathe in, I open my eyes because it's better, because in order to meditate nature mind, you have to open your eyes because the clarity. So also this meditation is kind of related your eyes. So sometimes when I breathe in, I open my eyes very gently and then rest, nature mind. And pause, as much as you can. And then breathe out. I close my mind. Now close my eyes. Let go everything. Sometimes you have worries, stress, kind of suffering, right? So it's bother you. It's difficult. So you say, let go. That helps. No worries, no stress. Be present moment. Focus on this moment. If you let go everything, it helps you focus on the present moment. Let go means actually do not think past situation. Do not think future situation. That's why I use let go. Let go means everything that in your mind. Past time, future time. Worries, stress, suffering, happiness, everything, just to let go and be calm, relax, and pause your breath as long as you can. Then breathe in, recognize your mind. Do this meditate continually for a few minutes. All right, thank you. Any questions? Relax, right? Very calm, beautiful. Meditation is beautiful. Oh, now that's all. Thank you very much. If you don't have any questions, then close in prayers.